Chapter 10. The Calamity. Staying out of the pressure cooker. The building tension we feel that is permeating every square inch of our present society is what I call the pressure cooker. Unfortunately, it's not going to fully release for quite a while. Out of nowhere, it seems people, events, and situations are popping up constantly in our daily lives that are almost too hard to handle. Many are too hard to even conceive of. Sure, we've had our share of mindless acts throughout our recently recorded history, but today it seems that everywhere you look and read, it feels like people and things are about to become unhinged. Out of nowhere, it's like a hit-and-run victim is constantly being thrust in our feet, forcing us to continually sidestep and weave around the mess reoccurring before us each and every day. Suddenly, our idyllic lives in the 1950s, 1960s, and even 1970s is no longer available. It started in the 1980s, slowly creeping into our world and perspective. It's a selfishness and blatant disregard for ourselves, each other, and the great Mother Earth. As it accelerated into the present time, the governing bodies reacted to our own building confusion with more insane attempts to control us further. They made futile attempts to try to grasp and retain the power and mind control they thought they had over us, making the calamity accelerate even faster. Thus building greater fears and feelings that they're trying to manipulate and regulate everything that we do. As food became more mass-produced and people started getting weaker and sicker, they started to prescribe the drugs to anyone and everything, from children to even animals. Crazy. Just plain crazy. I remember that for most of the earlier century, the last thing a doctor did was to give someone drugs when they got sick, especially a child. They felt it was the last resort, knowing the importance of building one's own immune system and how drugs counteracted that. They grew up with a bevy of natural remedies and solutions and prescribed them in most cases, keeping drugs only available for extreme cases where they would use them sparingly and with caution. With the sick getting sicker and the masses more confused because of it, they started to manipulate the genetic makeup of the food to control not just us, but the environment. Mother Nature became their next intended victim. Now, that's not just crazy, but downright stupid. Did you ever try to stop the ocean from its force of current? Did you ever try to contain a bolt of lightning? Oh, but they can remake our plants better than Mother Nature intended. Now, who's confused? They are now manipulating the genetic makeup of all the food and medicine we are to consume. But with no real side effects, we're told. Here, why don't you hold the lightning rod as the thunderstorm comes in, because I'm going inside to shelter where all common sense might still exist. Now, as the floods and pesticide and drugs started permeating our fragile ecosystem, they took no measures to correct and fix the problems. Instead, they reached out and tried to control who can even grow crops, what seeds they have to use, and just how much influence we can have on the things we put in our bodies. No wonder the pressure is building. They're reacting to the building calamity as if it isn't happening. And that makes us more unbalanced and desperate for some reality. Real reality, not their sublimated version. As the power schemes and manipulation begin to be more exposed, and as people start to comprehend more of what the government and big business have been piling on us, they will attempt to try and take control of what little resources and assets we will have left. And that is the sign of the end of the building pressure. It won't end in compromise. I guarantee that. The pressure and stakes are just too high and have been building just too long. So, you'll have to decide on whether you will concentrate on preparing yourself for self-sustainability or keep watching the pressure building. Let yourself get sucked into the excuses and fake attempts at solutions, and finally be at the mercy of the dynamic outcome of the pressure cooker exploding. How long can it be plugged in before it blows its top? Well, time will tell. It is the systematic breakdown of our organized society in its full regalia, and it's only getting stronger. Mother Earth can no longer ease out the pressure in a simple and non-evasive manner. She can no longer turn a blind eye to the blatant refusal of man to change his ways. His continual disregard for his own responsibility and for the negative energy he's impacting on the planet in all his selfishness and greed. You can see Mother Earth is starting to let some of the building pressure release by the clusters of earthquakes suddenly appearing in areas that haven't had earthquakes in centuries. Not only that, but hundreds of earthquakes and tremors in a single day. As these earthquakes are starting to occur, it's making people realize their need to make changes and accept new rules and ways of life. Or it's fracturing people from the inside out. You can see it all around us. Unfortunately, fewer people are embracing the change and showing greater compassion than those that are exhibiting the signs of starting to break down. Their own souls are fighting their now patterned denial, and it's making people more unstable each day. They're looking into the mirror and wondering, why can nothing satisfy this now accelerating feeling of malcontent? Things that used to make them happy no longer have the desired effect. Things that they coveted in the past have suddenly lost their meaning. It is an unsettling time if you continue to try to hang on to the past and refuse to acknowledge the need for change and a complete reevaluation of what we think is important. What will now satisfy our soul and our desires is a completely new set of ideas. Gone are the days of financial empires and material accumulation. Gone are the availabilities for people to hoard and collect above their balanced needs. If you try to hang on to your old habits, you will surely make yourself crazy in that it just doesn't have the effect that it once had. We can no longer embrace a selfish, self-centered, separated society. Its vibration will not be tolerated by the planet, and its own evolution helping to force our changes. Don't concentrate on your fleeting remembrances of what once was. Instead, find the time and insight to embrace new ideas that will satisfy the soul and its need for a balanced and harmonious life. You know you have to retake the direction of your life because we are feeling more out of control and reactionary more than ever before. Take the time to find a real change and a new perspective. Because the harder you fight to stay the same, the more you will experience and feel the sense of everything just being wrong and incomplete. So stay out of the calamity of your unwillingness to change and see a new beginning and its gifts.